Hi everyone, I got this new deck, Chakra Wisdom Tarot. All the cards in the tarot deck are now color coordinated based on what chakra the author of this deck thought was appropriate. So there's a lot of powerful healing messages in this deck that I have yet to discover and that I'm going to use on the reading that I'm about to pull. And the World card is a wild card. It doesn't fit in with any chakra. It's the end of the journey, so it kind of makes sense that it's a little bit out, that it sticks out in its own category. So I'm going to do the reading and be right back. I'm going to shuffle the cards, actually. I'm going to do that on camera and see what it looks like, because this is only going to be looking this beautiful probably once in this rainbow of Hawaii colors. Let's see how this works. So hard to do. This is a really cool tarot deck. Wow. Something could be. Oh, and just hold on, we're going home. Ooh, just hold on, we're going home. It's hard to do these things alone. I'm gonna draw the cards and then do a reading. I just don't know how to use this deck yet. It's very powerful cards. Healing energy, like. Okay, that's about it. Let's get into it. You can turn the camera off. I thought you did. I'm so nervous to continue this read after pulling all of these cards and reading the instructional booklet in depth that came with the deck.
Brief me about it before you do it. What's going on?
What?
brief me about the message?
What?
Can you brief me about the message?
No. I can't. So... I'm really nervous to do this reading. And starting off, we have... Starting. Okay, I'm starting to lose my mind over this tarot deck. So let's begin. In the center of the reading, we have the Temperance card. So the masculine and the feminine are in an angelic state. They've both grown wings. And the shadow period has ended and has been left behind them. Both are moving forward with this light that they didn't have before. And this card is asking to mix the elements together and find a stronger outcome after mixing. This Angel of Temperance is saying that sometimes you can find yourself in situations that may be tempting or easy. And when you get caught in those situations, it shows you who you have become. So this card has, one of the messages this card asks is to check your footing before moving forward to make sure that you have a stable ground to work off of. And that feelings play a bigger role than we originally thought. This card asks us to combine our past and who we have become. So, moving forward to the feminine's energy, we have that she's appearing here as the Queen of Swords, and we just can't take our eyes off of her. She's smart, and she has dogs that protect her. And she's kind and fair, and her companions are loyal to her because they sense that energy. She's the type of woman who will cut off all ties if necessary, and she's the queen of the cold truth. She has to protect what is hers. She might feel like she has to protect herself. And she holds a position of power. The feminine energy also has the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Coins. With these two cards, the feminine has luck on her side. And these wands behind her were never challenges to begin with. They were mostly tools to allow her to move forward with some speed. Again, the message comes out is you cannot know where a feeling will take you. But if it inspires you, then the adventure has begun. That is a message that has come up in this reading, I think, 3 times exact. It comes up for both parties. This queen will succeed. She's aligned. Things are happening that she doesn't see. She's a leader who's focused, and she's sure of who she is. And it's not about money. The feminine, the Queen of Swords, also embodies the Seven of Coins energy, which means that she's moving forward, manifesting the things that she needs to have that stability to work off of. And let's talk about the masculine. So, I originally started the reading drawing 3 cards for each of the feminine and the masculine. The masculine, I drew the 2 of Swords and 2 queens. So after thinking about it for a long time, I could only assume one thing, that he is stuck with options. And I was a little confused, so I drew a card to clarify, and I got the 6 of Wands, which he is in a spot where his ancestors have been before, choosing the path towards his future, the man's future. There's a lot of decision making that needs to happen here, and I was very confused as to why he makes certain decisions, so I drew cards to clarify that. And talking a little bit more about the card he's coming up as and the 2 types of queens that he seems to be comfortable juggling is... So for him being the 2 of Swords, he's wearing a blindfold and he has excitement towards 2 women. And he's been seductively restricted. When we choose to turn our back on our emotions, we stay safe from the possibility of feeling them. This man is blind, and he's not using his eyes to make this decision. He's using something else. But how can you make a decision wearing a blindfold? You flip a coin. This is a decision that was chosen at random. There wasn't full clarity when making this decision, and he doesn't have it's limited information, and yet he's choosing a very direct path. This card implies that there will be failure, but light will guide him. And throughout this, he is still protected. When I first looked up this card, I originally thought it was the 2 of Wands, which is the magical manifesting card. And it's having joy. And the ability to send out a spell to the universe, for help, or to find what you're looking for. It's having it be a positive thing come in, not with this blindfold. It's more of like a surprise with like good luck, not choosing something blindly and knowing it's gonna fail. Because I had to ask some clarifiers, which we'll get to. This is Molly on the cards. Hopefully she moves in a minute. But talking about the masculine, again, as the Two of Swords energy, he's in denial, he's closed off, he's protecting himself, he's protecting whatever he's not using to make his decision is what he is protecting about himself. It's like he doesn't want to see the choice. He just wants to, like, there's no vision. It's just, he's scared of taking his blindfold off and looking at, it's like, my camera died. So he flips the coin, and sure enough, right in front of him is a woman who has her arms stretched wide open to receive the coin. And I asked for a clarification on kind of like how he had this option to begin with in the first place. Kind of like, how do you attract the Queen of Coins? It has to do with his ancestors. So his ancestors give him strength to succeed against all odds. They've passed him the baton in the race. So don't make the same mistakes they made. Use them as strength and energy to keep going, and they're all there cheering for you. This is a time for him to celebrate his life and his gratitude. Because he did something really amazing. He made a choice. When I asked, again, why did he make this choice, I pulled the Chariot. And when I looked at the imagery on the card, it shows that there's like this dreamy chariot in the sky. And that the masculine is mesmerized by it. So it's like this force came in with this eerie magnetism. And his ancestors have been in this place before. So they say to choose wisely. And so far, I would say that this is not a well thought out decision. On the other hand, where to begin about the Queen of Wands? The energy this queen represents is too big, too scary for him to want to pursue. when I asked about clarification on choosing that path of the Queen of Wands, but why would you want someone flipping a coin and going for your path blindly? The Queen of Wands wants to be chosen. It has to be divinely guided and just make sense. The Queen of Wands is about creation and finding peace. She knows her self-worth. She's ambitious, she's adventurous, and inspiring. This card, are you willing to let go of those whose visions of you no longer supports either of you? This queen is the window to the bigger picture. She sounds boring. It's like this, this is the dream. She represents holding space for the dreams, every single dream to be fulfilled. Something she has to say, a message to the masculine, is true freedom is only available. True freedom is only available when we let others off the hook. But it doesn't mean we forgive them. She says that, I know sometimes you won't forgive someone, and that's okay. Having her around shows that some of the decisions he has made in the past was made with limited information. And when I ask for more clarification on choosing that option or having that, that's the issue, is that it's an option. But having that path be having that path be yours is that he has to want it. Effort is directed where there is an implied want. So she thinks that he doesn't want her because he didn't choose the queen with all of his dreams coming true. He chose the Queen of Coins. The Queen of Coins is a beautiful woman. She uses objects, things given to her by the masculine, to heal her past wounds. This is important. Listen. This woman needs objects to heal her past wounds. Without these objects, she will not exist. She has to get these objects. Does she earn these objects, or does she create them? This woman, like every person, experiences blocks acquiring these objects. When she feels she has not earned her objects or created it herself, she has to get it one way or another, and she goes through a mental block when she feels she doesn't have the object she needs. So what does she do to get the object? She steals it. And it causes her pain. And she doesn't understand why she has this block, why she feels like she can't create her own coin herself. And it's a sign to her to say, slow down, caution, red flag, you shouldn't have to be stealing anything from anyone. And it all has to do with her heritage and where she came from and her ancestors. So we have a blind man choosing a path with a woman who hasn't uncovered all of her blocks yet. And we have the Queen of Wands sitting there holding space, open, always ready and available whenever this masculine decides to take off the blindfold and pursue a larger picture. You might ask, or I might ask, how sure are we that the masculine with the Queen of Coins right now, how is that going to play out? Is that destined for defeat? Is that a smart move? How do we know? Let's draw more cards. I pulled 3 cards, the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the Tower. The first card that popped out is the Tower card. This masculine was forced to climb this tower against his own will, against his own instincts. It's like things felt wrong, and yet he continued to climb the staircase of defeat. His current thinking would surely burn him. Will he recover? He forgot lessons and who he is. Not even our gut, our third chakra, the solar plexus, can protect him now. He's falling out of the tower. Something caught on fire, destruction happened, pain, an event just caused everything to be wiped out. And he falls, but he lands on his feet, because it doesn't end there. This card shows the truth. And it's a warning. And he needs to forgive himself so things can get better. And this could also represent a missed opportunity. Therefore, things get blown up. Maybe you only have one option, one opportunity before it's gone forever. And if you miss that opportunity and it was meant to be yours, then surely this tower moment will appear, right? Okay, so the battery keeps dying. There's been a delay. So the masculine lands on his feet, but not for long because he's been affected by the 10 of Swords energy from the avoidable defeat. He has hit rock bottom and needs to change his job. He feels pain. But healing has begun. He's feeling cold. There's this depth of sorrow. He feels so much pain that all he can remember is how good love and warmth felt. But we should be proud. Everyone is proud. His ancestors are proud because he took a risk. And that's the greatest of all things. This masculine needs to take a stand and have the courage for his new direction and be free. He needs to put the Ten of Swords to rest and learn his lesson from the Tower and move on. Move on to a more loving energy. And the other card drawn for the masculine is the Six of Cups. It's a woman from the past. He cherished this woman and they had a lot of memories together. It's almost like he can't remember her anymore, but he knows she's there. And people are surrounding him. He has the support of his ancestors. This card represents healing in a romantic way and using his past as motivation to move forward. He might have a clouded mind right now and not see things clearly, but there's a lot of light surrounding him from his ancestors, from his and friends and loved ones from his past that he remembers but might not be thinking so clearly about due to the origin of how this man came to life. So we have this man with two options, two possibilities of a future. And the hanged woman appears. Time has been frozen. No movement has been made to the Queen of Wands. But it says a new time will emerge. And I wanted to know where the feminine should be focusing all of her positive energy. She's hanging out with friends, she has animals surrounding her, and the things that she thought were challenges were events that would eventually gift her with more luck. And the cards I drew for her is the Seven of Cups, more love, having options, knowing what she wants, and having love surrounding her and friends. The Three of Cups represents a social gathering or an event or a celebration. It's a time to listen to our feelings and our inner gut by this Temperance card and know that we can have this Ace of Wands new beginning with the Queen of Wands if we just take a step back and go back to the feeling before the Tower moment happened and the Ten of Swords happened and get backstabbed 10 times and then blamed for you having the sword stuck in your back. Somehow it was the masculine's fault. He listened to this feeling of illusionment and went for something very, very alluring. with limited information. And a new beginning can happen. It can. Again, that strong message about listening to our feelings, and if it inspires us, then the adventure has begun. This is all about following your heart today. And if it feels right, then it probably is. And the warning signs will be there. And if you're unsure about if it's a warning sign, and then the warning shows up later, then it was. Then your feelings were accurate. This deck is really intense. It's unlike any other deck I've read from. It's like the message could be so bad, so horrible, no love, no progress, nothing to be proud of, nothing to show off. And yet there's still so much strength and people cheering on everyone. Even the Queen of Coins, we cheer her on. Maybe one day she will finally earn her coin, or create it herself, get creative, like the Queen of Wands. At the bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups. This is an equal energy exchange. It's a union, it's a relationship. I think it's a good time to ask ourselves if it feels like an equal energy exchange. Because it should. And that love can be found in the right places, but we have to look for it. We have to take off the blindfold and see. We have to be open to receiving it if we want to see it. And it's the same chakra color as the masculine's card. So I associate these two even more together. He can have the love he desires, but it seems like some powerful lessons need to be learned and feelings have to be felt. A permanent ending to who he used to be. And the new beginning is not here yet. And I think that the best thing that all can do is stay hopeful. That the Tower and the Ten of Swords can be left in the past, never to be revisited in this capacity. And that maybe it's an easy solution. He gets to decide when when changes happen. Or where he looks, where he goes, who he talks to. So we'll see what happens, but I think that's the end of the reading. And I believe that things are working themselves out. As I said earlier, there are things happening that we do not see. Okay, Queen of Swords? With all of these cool things to celebrate, talk about, with no challenges right now, but she thought they were challenges. And like, she apparently has like lots of stuff to choose from. And she's lucky and has somehow managed to give herself 7 coins.